If I was to say to you, what nation do you belong to, according to the Bible, would you be able to give me an answer? Like you got the Hittites, the Jebusites, the Canaanites, the Moabites, the Ishmaelites, you know what I'm saying? It'd be very difficult, right? But we do have a connection to the Bible, those people of the slave trade. Because what you see here on this stand here, right? You see some forms of slavery, right? And you identified like myself. I was born here, my parents are from the Caribbean, but we were brought from Africa as slaves, right? And we don't really know our true identity. You understand? Like, we don't really know which part of Africa we were taken from. So we call ourselves Jamaicans, wherever the slaves were dropped and they were left after slavery was abolished. We just took on board the name of that region as our nationality. But that's not really true, because we were brought to Jamaica and the Caribbean islands to work hard bondage, you understand? So and then we were left there through a technicality. Now, I'm going to show you something in the Bible, right? Do you know the history or you know the story about Moses and Pharaoh, let my people go? So the real Egyptians were melanated people. They looked like me and you in terms of skin tone, right? And the people that they had as slaves, do you know which nation they had as slaves in the Bible? So they had a nation called the children of Israel. You know, Moses came to free them, let my people go, right? But I'm going to show you from the Bible that your true nationality. Just give me 2 minutes of your time, right? So let's see who we are according to the Bible. And today you're going to be very, 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 very surprised if you don't know already. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1 and verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side of Jordan in the wilderness.
So, sisters, you remember the story of Moses with Pharaoh? And when Moses took the Israelites out of Egypt, they crossed the Red Sea, all right? Obviously, God closed the sea up on the Egyptians and drowned them. But when they were in the wilderness, Moses gave them back the commandments of God. Do you understand what I'm saying, my brother? 400 years in captivity under another nation, when you come out of bondage, what tends to happen is you speak in their language, you're following their culture, their dialect, because a slave has no rights. They follow the rights of their slave masters. So Moses was going to give the Israelites back the commandments that they had from the beginning. Go to Deuteronomy 28 and verse 1. So same book, same audience. Watch this.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I have commanded thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Now, we didn't write that. Moses said to the Israelites, look, if you obey God, right, if you keep the commandments of the Lord, right, he will put you on high above all nations of the world. Now, what that meant was the children of Israel would be ruling in righteousness. They will be ruling the planet in righteousness. No murdering, no backbiting, no stealing, no murmuring, no adultery. You understand? Right. The nations would look upon them and see that there is a level of spirituality amongst these people. They were meant to be the beacon of light, right? But here's a flip side. So keep the commandments, be blessed. Watch what would happen if you didn't.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So the flip side is break the commandments, and the curses or the judgments of God would be on you as a people, right? Now, I'm going to prove to you from the Bible that we are those people that came out of Egypt with Moses. You understand? Those are our ancestors, all right? We're going to show you your true nationality. So remember, sisters, blessed, keep the commandments, be blessed, break them, and be cursed. Now, just as a quick observation, right? If you walk around Birmingham City Centre, how many black businesses do you see? There's hardly any, right? How many black news agents have you seen? How many black supermarkets? None, but we've been here a long time. Doesn't look like we're blessed to me. Our communities are shattered. You understand, sisters? There's no harmony. Our youths are killing each other. That sounds like a nation that's not blessed. So we're going to read one or two of these curses, and then you tell me, brother, you tell me, sisters, who does this fit today in 2026? Go to verse 46.
Bring it up. Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever, because thou servest not the Lord thy God.
So Moses said that these curses will be on you for a sign. What does a sign do? What's the purpose of a sign, my brother? What's the purpose of a sign? What does a sign do, sisters? It corrects, it shows you something. You understand? Like if we wanted to find Holland and Barrett, we would look for the sign or the logo. Barclays Bank, Burger King, you look for the sign. So all Moses is saying is, look, in the future, you are going to lose your identity. You won't know who you are. And the only way you'll be able to identify yourselves is these curses that God will put on you. They will be on you forever. And that will be the indicating factor to know or find out who you are. So all we're going to do now is just read one or two curses, process of elimination. And you tell me, who do these curses fit in 2026? Go to verse 32.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 32.
Now, what's this?
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long. And there shall be no might in thine hand.
So one of the curses is your sons and your daughters, your children, will be taken from you and given to another people. You understand? Now, if you're not sure what that's going into, read verse 41.
Verse 41.
Come on.
Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them.
Why?
For they shall go into captivity. And all, that's it.
So you're going to have sons and daughters, but you won't enjoy them because they're going to go into slavery, into captivity. Now, let me ask you a question. In history, as far as you're aware of, which nation had their people or children taken from them, lock, stock, and barrel, and sold into captivity? Which people did that happen to? The so-called Africans, right? Because there's no history of the Caucasian man going into slavery on ships or their children. What about the Chinese? What about the Japanese? What about the Arabs? The Germans? It's only us. You understand? You understand what I'm saying? We had our children taken from us. Now, have you ever watched any slave movies? You watch slave movies? We've seen slave movies before, right? We can name quite a few. Where you see our children being taken and sold into captivity. Remember what Moses said in verse 46, and they, which is the curses, shall be upon you for a sign, and a wonder, and upon thy seed forever, because they can't erase this from history. So it's a mark that's on us forever, right? Read verse 48.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 48.
Just two more sisters, right? What's this?
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
So Moses is saying, what God is saying, look, if you don't want to serve me, the one true God, the God that gave you everything, that brought you out of Egypt, you want to keep following after the other nations, then I'm going to allow you to go and serve your enemies. Let's see if they will love you the way I loved you. You understand? Read on.
Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies.
Sorry, and it said enemies, but it's more than one, right? Because everybody played a part in our slavery, all right? Everyone was buying us as slaves. No one's exempt from that. Read.
Thine enemies which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
You see that, sisters? You're going to have to serve your enemies for everything. That's why you don't see us with any supermarkets. You don't see us owning petrol stations. You don't even see us owning car wash, you know, the drive-through car washes. It's not, our people don't even do that. But we'd have to go to the other nations who provide the infrastructure for us to benefit from. You understand? And it says in want of all things. Death certificate, marriage certificate, birth certificate, education. Anything that you want, you're going to have to go to the other nations who have the institutions for you to benefit from. And it says, and he, which is talking about the enemy, shall put yokes of iron upon our necks until we have been destroyed. Now I challenge you, if you take your phone out and type into Google yokes of iron and go to images, and you tell me what people do you see with those big yokes of iron around their necks. It's only us. You understand what I'm saying to you? I've never seen any images with the other nations, and I've tried. I really have looked. It's not there. But Moses said these curses will be upon us for a sign and a wonder, and upon our seeds forever. Just showing you that we are the people of the book. Now you can read the rest of your curses yourself from 15 to 68. Now I'm just going to quickly show you slavery. You all identified with our people being taken from Africa as slaves on slave ships to the Caribbean islands. Let's see if that history is in the Bible. Give me verse 68.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Now, sisters, brother, Moses said, look, if you disobey God, right, he's just brought you out of slavery, right? He's going to send you back into Egypt again with ships. But hold on a minute, didn't they walk out of Egypt with Moses? They walked out of Egypt, they didn't come out of Egypt on ships. So why would God send them back into Egypt with ships? The word Egypt has a meaning, quickly.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Egypt is a Greek word. It's synonymous for bondage, captivity, or slavery, because that's where God's people were as slaves. God always refers to Egypt as the house of bondage, where his people were. You understand? So all Moses is saying to the word of God, listen, if you obey the Lord, he's sending you right back into slavery again, bondage or captivity again, but this time you're going into slavery on ships.
Across the earth, the prophets move. From city streets to distant lands, the message is the same. Israel must rise. Through every quest, every journey, the truth spreads. No border can contain it. No distance can silence it. Our nation lives in every moment. In joy, we celebrate marriages. In sorrow, we honor our dead. On the Sabbath, we gather as one. Families rejoicing together, bound by the commandments of God. Yet are we tried. From the stones in Kenya to the hatred in Montana, we endure as a soldier of the Lord. And still, the mission expands. On the airwaves, on the screens, in every nation under heaven, Israel's voice is heard. We build our communities. We raise our children in royalty. We restore what was broken. We clean what was defiled. We show the world who we are. This is Israel united in Christ. Nation in motion. Nation endures.